Assalamu alaikum, hello and welcome to the SoutShines Tarot. Today we are going to reveal some important messages about your current situation once again, but this time I am going to use major arcana cards. Remember, it's a timeless reading, which means these messages are not restricted to any particular time period, so whenever you watch this video, these messages are meant to be yours. Now it's going to be a single card reading, therefore you'll have to pick one card out of these 3 tarot cards in front of you. But you can pick another card for your friend and another one for your family member, especially if they are living far away from you, to know about what's going on in their lives, which means you can always watch the whole video to learn and gain some knowledge about these major arcana tarot cards. You can pick your favorite card according to the imagery you are most drawn to, or according to the key you like most, or the numbers of the cards. Timestamps are given in the description as usual, and if you like my readings, then please subscribe to my channel, press the notification bell on the option all, and hit the like button. I give you some time to select your card, or you can pause the video to decide, and I start with the card number 1. Hello card number 1, those who selected this Hierophant card, this is going to be your reading. Now this is the 5th major arcana card out of every tarot deck, but as I'm using a contemporary deck, so it has a very different imagery than the usual classic Hierophant card. But meaning of this card is quite the same thing in every deck, of course. But this card is there with some extra outlook, as you can see, and that is the reason of why I choose to read a contemporary tarot deck rather using a traditional deck, because contemporary tarot cards always give me some extra learning, something out of the box which a traditional tarot deck may lack of that modern approach, though it's an important thing to keep that traditional meaning of every card side by side, because that's the actual soul of these tarot cards, right? I hope you got my point, and with that said, let's start interpreting this beautiful card. Alright, so it is a 5th card of tarot deck, and 5 is a number of change. Now, what kind of change this card brings, let's find out. First of all, let me tell you that the Hierophant is the masculine counterpart of the High Priestess. It is a sacred person who talks about some mystical, lawful principles. It shows your new desire to have that liberty to obey or disobey something, depends on your situation. But whatever your desire to achieve, you want it to be done very conventionally. So you could have an orthodox approach because you want to follow something religiously according to the proper guideline and in a very organized manner. So this card depicts a personality who may like to follow some rituals to maintain their religious ways, as they believe in immortality of spirituality. It rhymes. If it makes sense to you, then that card is all about learning and teaching, and they know that everything gets vanished eventually, but spiritual thing remains in this world, alive forever. So they stand for purity. So this person is kind of a teacher, mostly a spiritual one, who can be helpful in your learning process. He's there to educate you. So either you are going to be a counselor, or you have someone around you as a wise counselor, but there are very high chances of you to be the one as a wise counselor to someone. Maybe you are going to have such position at your workplace where you are told to lead a group of people, or you are converted into such personality for your family to guide them that how should they act. What should they do in some specific situation? How should they react in time of need? So people might be looking for you to get guidance or to take advice. So you are in a better position, and if not, then you are going to be in that position soon. Now, if you see a traditional Hierophant card, that looks very similar to the Emperor card, and people might get confused between an Emperor and the Hierophant because of their red gowns and sitting on the thrones in powerful position. But this Hierophant is kind of a compassionate emperor, and that's not always the case with the people in charge, right? So to avoid further confusion, I'll only talk about Hierophant card right now. Now this card represents Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. So this card comes with the mood of learning, best to embody his spirituality and ground into reality so that society may benefit from it. Therefore, it talks more about beliefs and wisdom. Now, in this card, you can see the exact depiction of wisdom, as this wisdom thing is portrayed by an owl, and owl is known as one of the most intelligent species. That's why I really love this contemporary deck when there is so much research involved to give them a modern and brief meaning. Don't worry, I'll also describe the detailed meaning of Hierophant card as a classic tarot card, but for now, if you notice, the size of this owl is much more bigger than this human girl, which is shown that no matter who that person is, what class, caste or gender it belongs to, but this person is bigger in spirituality or in his experience. He is holding a book and he is kind of teaching that human being, which is a little girl who depicts an inexperienced, ignorant and innocent person who is in learning process and getting educated by this experienced teacher, and she is very keen to learn and listening to him. She's totally involved, and if you notice that she is sitting on a fragile bunch of tree which is sufficient to bear her weight. Now this thing shows her position in life, that she has to learn a lot, while this big owl is sitting on the strong trunk of this tree, and trunk is the strongest part of every tree. So this thing tells us that this teacher is not an ordinary being. He is holding a strong position in his life, so other can look up for him. And there is also a moon in the foggy sky right here, which seems like a full moon, but it's not a full moon if you notice, but it's in the process of completion. So learning process is going on in your life. Either you are teaching or somebody else is learning from you, or you have somebody to learn from his teaching. Both the situations are possible. Now the Hierophant also tells that when the structure and discipline can be in wrong hands, then there is a need of spiritual teacher and leaders to provide a moral compass. So basically this Hierophant card is about a belief system and connection with the divine. As you can see that this owl, this teacher, is closer to the sky. This card also reflects a need to adopt a traditional approach, or it might ask you to forget about traditional ways and to go your own way. The Hierophant also reflects being in a community of like-minded people who support one another. And it's also about locating a spiritual mentor or guide who can help you find your way, brings courage, self-respect and peace in you. Like this little girl found this big owl on the peak of that tree, and she seems to be a city person, which also shows that such teacher cannot be found that easily. But in your case, you or your related person are lucky to have some spiritual guidance, as you picked up this card already. So the Hierophant represents your doing the right things for the right reasons. You are remaining true to your principles. Most of you guys who selected this card are guided to respect their elders, and you respect the lesson of the past. You believe in the power of prayer. Many of you are in search of meaningful life, and many of you might have visited or visiting or going to visit schools or spiritual institution for the answers of your questions, because you might have a certain desire to follow a process which has been well established, but you want to focus on the typical ways because you might be an orthodox, and to be an orthodox in some cases is not that bad. In fact, it works better in many cases. Depends on the situation. Especially where you need to be on the right track, then one should definitely follow some conservative ways, as they are proven right and accurate in some cases. In fact, in many cases. So, where this contemporary Hierophant is focusing on spiritual guidance, the classic Hierophant card also focuses on some material aspect of life. For example, let me tell you about that classic Hierophant first. Where he is sitting between two pillars of a temple, wears 3 robes, red, blue and yellow, and triple crown. Now these 3 robes and 3 tied crown both represents the 3 worlds over which he ruled: the conscious, subconscious and superconscious. With rising hand, he shows a blessing with 2 fingers pointing towards heaven and 2 towards earth, and having keys of heavens in his feet. He is passing his knowledge to the people and to appointed people, which depicts that Hierophant is not only knowledgeable, but he shares his spiritual wisdom with others, which is a representation of a shared group identity. So they can find the way to heaven by doing good things on earth. And there is a balance between his conscious and subconscious minds to unlock the mysteries which only he can teach. This thing tells us that if we want to unlock some mysteries to ourselves, of life or universe, we should find that balance first between our conscious and subconscious mind. If both are awakened properly, it wouldn't be that difficult to understand those mysteries more than anybody else. Now, there are possibilities that some of you are going to work with a teacher, mentor, or guide to teach you about spiritual values and beliefs in a structured way, or to others. And that person seems very kind and generous mentor who nurtures your spiritual awareness and helps you access the divine understanding. And if you have already mastered a particular field of study, you may be taking on the role of this teacher and mentor to others. In this position, you honor and acknowledge your responsibility to share your knowledge in a structured and a traditional way, which means that you are not ready yet or not yet willing to offer any new and innovative ideas. You're following your traditional ways because you know that those key principles and rules can lead you to a successful results. Now, the Hierophant also depicts to honor your family traditions. So many of you are okay with the arranged setup of marriages. Some of you are also going to be a group member or being a part of an institution with the deep sense of comfort being assured by people who have well-established belief system and values, and you are gonna enjoy that company. So some of you are finding religious group or simply joining a gym or online communities where further learning is very much expected. And that's also quite possible for some of you that you are your own teacher and all the wisdom you seek comes from within, not external source, which means you are being guided to follow your own path rather than blindly following others. It may feel unsettling at first as you make your own way, but over time you will learn to trust yourself. In such case, others may question your motivation to go against tradition, but you know deep within that you no longer need any external approval to succeed. You are ready to go alone. So you no longer accept the rigid structures or traditions surrounds you. Instead, you seek out opportunities to reclaim your personal power. And if you feel restricted or have lost your sense of freedom and inflexibility, then now is the time to make your own rules. So the Hierophant depicts a trusted advisor also. It could be someone in your life, or if you don't trust anyone more than yourself, then it could be you as a best therapist for your own self who can help you to find the solution to your issues. So either you have that position for yourself or for others, but you must be aware of not using that position in negative manners or an abuse of position or poor counseling, which can only lead to misery, because as we all know that poor or weak leadership or guidance can destroy everything, rather constructing things in a better way. Now, if I'll have to summarize this whole reading, the Hierophant means that when the student is ready, the teacher is going to be appeared, and the guidance of a spiritual leader or mentor may be helpful. And in terms of love or marriage, the Hierophant depicts a committed and a very traditional relationship. So no matter which spiritual language you choose, if your intentions are pure, you are guided to the right path. And with that said, I wrap up this Hierophant reading here. Tell me in the comment section that how it would resonate with your situation, and if you like this reading, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribing this channel, and press the notification bell on the option all to watch all of my upcoming videos on time. Hope to see you in my next reading. Till then, take care, bye, and Allah Hafiz. Hello card number 2, those who picked up this beautiful Magician card, then this is going to be your reading. And if you have selected any other card for yourself and watching this card for learning purpose or for somebody else, you are more than welcome. So the Magician is the first card of the entire tarot deck. Although there is a Fool card which comes before this card also, but that has a number 0. Therefore, number 1 is associated with this Magician card. Now, why that Fool card is not considered as a first card of tarot if it comes before the Magician card? Well, that I'll explain in another video while interpreting that Fool card. But for now, let's focus on this beautiful, the Magician card. As you can see, this contemporary image of this card is entirely different from the imagery of classic tarot deck and the classic traditional the Magician card, but meaning is the same. In fact, it's more elaborated in contemporary decks, and that's the reason why I love to interpret such cards, because it gives us more than a usual outlook. But I'm not gonna ignore that real traditional meaning of this card. So let's start your reading. Okay, so this is not only a first tarot card of tarot deck, but it is the first major Arcana card. Therefore, this card number 1 is a number of new beginnings and opportunities. The one who gets this card for their reading, it means this card is directly indicating your energies right now. And you are standing there all ready to take on the world. The Magician card reflects that magic is alive in your life right now. There is nothing you can't accomplish if you just try. You may or may not be aware of the importance of the moment right now to realize just how prepared you are to create whatever you wish. This is a card of trusting. The universe is providing what you need if you believe. Resources are may just miraculously showing up, or you may discover that you can easily manifest them yourself. And of course, it never hurts to ask wise people for advice. And if someone wants to help you, well, let them help you. What are you waiting for? You should not be hesitant, because this help is provided by the universe through that person. He or she must be the source, right? Now, this Magician card always reminds me the power of the law of attraction. Hopefully, many of you may know about that already, and if not, then I hope to describe this thing in any other video. But for now, let me tell you that this card is all about law of attraction, which helps you to make your dreams come true. See how interesting this thing is. So this card tells us about your excellent skills due to excellent training. Many of you are taking charge of your life and you are visualizing what you want to create. Where that traditional magician card has an imagery of a man standing in front of that table with all four universal elements: earth, water, air, and fire, and his right arm is stretched upward to the heaven and left hand pointing down to the earth, indicating the term as above so below. Well, I'm not talking about that movie As Above So Below, but the original term itself, which means that whatever the person does on earth will be reflected in this spiritual world. For example, whatever happens in nature or the stars is reflected within the human body. And this thing is defined by a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece, just in case if you want to know. And that ideology of what we give that comes back to us is represented by an infinity symbol on the head of the magician card. And this white robe symbolizes purity and his red cloak represents worldly experience and knowledge. And in the foreground you can see flowers blossoming, which represents the fruition of his ideas and aspirations. Now, one question arises here, that if this card shows up with all four elements, then does it represent specific zodiac or not? The answer is yes, because this card relates to the planet Mercury, and Mercury is a planet of expression and communication. And who else could be more expressive than the Gemini and Virgo? And these both zodiacs have air elements. So yes, we can relate this magician card with both the Gemini and Virgo. Now, let's talk about this beautiful contemporary depiction of the magician card. So this modern magician is a person who completes the circuit between heaven and earth, the one who seeks to bring forth the divine blessing within her or himself. It is one of the most beautiful cards of this deck, and I literally fell in love with this image at a very first glance. I mean, look at this image. She is in the hand of universe, like universe itself as a magician showing its magical hat, where this person appears having earth, air, water and fire elements all together within her reach, and with her closed eyes she is calmly focusing at manifestation of something. And with this window in the hat represents a source of light and ventilation to brighten up the mind for clarity and openness. She is above the ground, high in the air, showing her position in the life right now, and her position shows her connection between the spiritual realms and material realms. It's best to keep your imagination open with this card, which means you should visualize yourself manifesting something unique, guided by evolutionary forces that emerge spontaneously from within your soul. So this energy allows your creativity to plan anything which seem possible or apparently impossible to you. But remember, nothing is impossible for God, who is an only creator of everything. We humans have limited thoughts and visions, but universe, divinity and spirituality is much more larger than we can ever imagine. And when that apparently impossible thing actually happens, we call it a miracle, and then we say that reality is stranger than the fiction. So always believe in impossible to keep you going and positively hopeful. I do it at least. And you can also try for that. So have faith in your creativity. And this magician advises you to give your mind plenty of rooms to explore the subject at hand. And be open-minded so you may bring freshness and clarity into the situation that is both stimulating and catalytic. Your intuition is a guide for you right now. Respond in a spontaneous manner to what is right in front of you. There is no reason to hold yourself back. Okay? So your natural urges are exactly what is needed, and your perfect timing and elegant style can smooth any awkwardness. So with all the tools or elements you are intending to get your things done, you have that all. Therefore, you have the spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional, all the sources to manifest your desires. And when you combine them with the true intention, you become a manifestation powerhouse. But the key is to bring them all together interactively so that the impact of what you create is greater than the separate parts. This is the alchemy at its best. Now is the perfect time to move forward on an idea that the seed of your potential has sprouted already, and you are being called to take action. The skills, knowledge, and capabilities you have gathered along your life path have led you to where you are right now. And whether or not you know it, you are ready to turn your ideas into reality. And for this, you must establish a clear vision of what you will create. Why do you have to create? You need to have a soul connection to your goals and intentions. You are powerful and creative to bring yourself in alignment with your present to create the future you want most. And once you are clear about your what and why, then your inner magician is ready for you to take an inspired action. You will need focused attention and intense concentration to bring your goals to fruition. But don't forget one thing, that commitment to the task is essential. So drop any distraction that may draw your focus away from what you want to achieve. Be methodical and logical in your planning to make sure that you stay on track and carry out your tasks. For the relationship issues, this card may indicate some communication problems between two partners, that they aren't exactly aware of opening doors to higher knowledge about their relationship and about divine love. For some of you, this card is telling you that your relationship needs an intervention and some interference and involvement of and saving from higher realms. So you must put all you have in this relationship. And if we talk about your career, then this magician card is telling you about your accomplishments of new things through creativity and incredible ideas. It also points out the importance of all information gathered, of paperwork, movement, and shows that certain things needs to be checked twice, especially when too many people are involved in something grand and potentially successful goal. And as far as your health is concerned, then this magician card may be a bit tricky and speaks of psychological issues or problems that are hard to diagnose or see by common methods. On the other hand, it gives us an opportunity to find a better doctor or healer, use alternative methods to help our physiology, and boost the flow of emotions that can eventually set us free from health issues of any kind. This card shows our power to overcome any obstacle and deal with problems, so our physical and psychological issues can be recovered and cured as well. If I sum up all this detailed meaning of the magician card, then it is telling you that you have numerous doors opening in front of you. It's emphasizing on artistic and creative ventures and all those ideas that seems distant but might be materialized with enough bravery and good planning, especially when there is a need to transform something, it's telling you to focus if you don't want to miss those opportunities that life is bringing for you. It is the time to try for the things you want because you are emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally going to be energetic. You should avoid manipulation, distractions, confusions, ill intentions, and communication blocks if you have anything in your mind to accomplish. And moreover, avoid poor planning, please, and take an inspired action with determination to get into your resourceful power to manifest your wish, because this card is a representation of your potential. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up this reading. Do tell me in the comment section that how does this resonate with your situation, and if you like this reading, then please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell on the option all to get all of my upcoming videos on time, where you can learn more about tarot, numerology, signs, symbols, along with your own pick a card reading to get some important messages about your situation. Hope to see you in my next reading. Till then, take care, bye, and Allah Hafiz. Hello, card number 3, those who selected this strength card, then this is going to be your reading. And for those who are watching this interpretation for the learning purpose, you are more than welcome. Or if you're watching this reading for somebody else, then you're also welcome. All right. So the strength card is traditionally the 11th card of tarot deck, and many tarot decks claim this as their 11th card. But there were many decks afterwards who shifted its position from 11th to 8. And as you can see, I'm using a contemporary tarot deck which also stated this strength card's position at number 8. And what a brave and strong number it is, as it is a number of planet Saturn, and Saturn is all about hard work and its rewards. This number gives you everything back what you give to others. So do good to receive good means as you sow, so shall you reap, without any exception. Now number 8 can be defined by an infinity sign, which represents renewal as well as gaining lost paradise. Metaphorically, of course, and it is a symbol of eternity. In the classic deck, this woman is wearing a white robe, showing her purity of spirit, and the infinity sign above the woman's head is just like in the magician card, which shows her unlimited potential. And just like the magician card, she has the ability to manifest what she desires with her newfound power. Now, there is one thing I want to talk about, that those who are fond of tattoos, don't use this infinity symbol as a tattoo on your body. Because, God forbid, if you are dealing with some bad or negative energies, or if you are stuck into some hopelessness or hopeless situation for a long time and for a while, facing all these life issues, and then you decide to carve a tattoo which looks short, sweet, and small, like this infinity symbol, by perceiving it as an abundance forever symbol, you are mistaken then. Because this symbol can keep bringing negative things back to you again and again if you carve that tattoo on your hand while feeling hopelessness and helplessness and bad energies. And you don't want to do that. So don't ever paint infinity symbol on your body. Now, Chinese numerologists consider number 8 as a luckiest number, but some of the worldwide numerologists consider number 8 as a difficult and a dangerous number. I believe in both because Saturn keeps an eye on your doings, and if you do something bad to anyone, it can throw the same negative energies towards you. And not only that, it is also a very slow planet where progress can be slow, but it promises a definite progress if you keep on hard working consistently. And If you consider this Strength card as 11th card of the deck, then 11 is a number, a master number in itself, which means a balance, intuition, teaching, leading, good communication skills, healing, helping others, double of emotions, double of foresights than a normal person. So in both the cases, either it's number 8 or 11, this Strength card has a very significant role in your life right now if you already picked this card for your reading or for the other person you picked up this card. And remember that the first 22 cards of any tarot deck belongs to major arcana, and in this category Strength card has a very notable position as in terms of power and authority. This card is associated with planet Sun. Now remember when I was talking about numerology of this card as a number 8 or number 11, then those numbers belongs to Saturn and master number. But when I'm talking about this card as a whole energy, it represents Sun. And Sun is a ruling planet of Western zodiac Leo. So yes, this card represents Leo energy, of course. So you or your concerning person might belong to the Leo as your or their sun, moon or rising signs. But it doesn't mean that if you are not Leo as sun, moon or rising, or your concerning person is not Leo as their sun, moon or rising, then this reading is not for you or for your person. Still, it could be your reading, because if you select this card, then it surely has some messages for your situation, which could be related to any issue of your life subject. So let's find out together that what this powerful card has in store for you. Now this is a card of inner strength. You people are getting power through kindness and compassion, through courage. As you can see how this girl is holding this huge lion in her arms with both of her hands, and in the result this big wild animal is kind of bending his head in love and surrendering position, right? But look at her, how confident and calm she is. She is not afraid of him, and if you notice, she has a tail, mustache and ears of a cat, which is showing that she had to turn herself into somebody with whom this lion can relate to, so she can come near to him to gain his trust and get friendly with him. Because this person, this girl, this human knew that there is no use to fight and get aggressive to handle this big wild animal. So what this person did, she shows those traits to this lion which could make this lion feel comfortable with her to become her friend. She's wearing yellow, which is a color of sun, radiance, positivity and happiness. On the other hand, this card shows that you are stronger than you realize, and you have the ability to conquer any challenges you are experiencing. Therefore, you should have more faith and trust in yourself, which means this card asks you to handle your issues with other people with soft and kind words. Taking the tough approach isn't the answer right now. So the Strength card asks you to look upon your sensitivity as an amazing gift that you can use to handle your difficult situation. So if you need to stand up for yourself, then by all means do so, but with kindness and dignity. This card also tells us to have patience and forgive yourself and others. This card tells us that you are overcoming challenges through grace and willpower. It predicts having the courage of your conviction and believing in yourself. So this card is telling you to have confidence while still being sensitive to others. Actually, this contemporary card of Strength represents our wild nature, which is tamed by our feminine side, finer side, finer self, or our inner self. Now, there is one thing I want you to understand here, that if there is some feminine or masculine person is shown in any of that tarot card or in any card, and you belong to the opposite gender of what card is showing, then there is nothing to worry about that gender. We as a human being have both the personality traits of masculine and feminine in ourselves, because there are some human traits which are more highlighted in a masculine nature and some traits are connected to feminine nature. But as a human being, we all have those traits. It's just a matter of association of these traits more than the other gender. For example, softness, politeness, motherhood are mostly associated with females. That's why these traits are called feminine. But it can be personality traits of a man also. Similarly, strong, tough, independent kind of words are mostly associated with a masculine. But not anymore, as in this era anybody can be anything. A woman can be strong, tough, or independent as well, as a man can be gentle, polite, and sweet. So the depiction of a gender in these cards is a depiction of personality traits which we need to adopt accordingly to our circumstances. So whenever I talk about any of the masculine or feminine energy, do not feel offended by the words like he or she, as it has nothing to do with your gender. It's about the fragile or the tough energies or emotions showing by these cards, right? I hope I made my point clear for you to understand the tarot language and energies in a better way without making you offended. Now, back to the topic. So the Strength card represents your will and passion of your instinctive nature, which doesn't need to be broken but refined, so you and your concerning matter may come into harmony. Because the feminine soul force is considered to contain a persuasive power that can nurture and induce cooperation from others by harmonizing differences of collective goodwill. And you not only have that power, but you are enjoying this power of having inner strength and potency along with self-belief. Many of you are mastering raw emotions in order to bring calm and peace to yourself or a situation. Here this card is similar to the Chariot card when it comes to overcoming the obstacles we face in accordance to our own doubts, fears, or anxieties. But here we'll not talk about that Chariot card. Maybe in some other video we'll be discussing that. But for now, the Strength card indicates that you are learning to control your fears and anxieties to be the courageous and daring. Just like Courage the cowardly dog, who gets afraid of everything but finally overcomes his fears to protect that old couple he lives with. One of my favorite cartoon, but you are not a cartoon, nor I'm calling you a dog. All I'm saying is that you are much more potential than a cartoon character, because you are a real human being who's blessed with willpower, wisdom, and creativity to resolve your issues of any sort, right? And this card is telling us that you have all the skills you need to be successful. The focus now is to conquer your inner worries and believe in yourself. Take the time you need to overcome your emotions, be patient and compassionate with yourself and your abilities. So that's how you can not only train your emotions, but also someone else's wild ways. But remember, this is not done by trying to dominate the other person, but with a gentle, positive reinforcement, encouragement, and compassion, okay? And if we talk about love or relationships, then for those who are single, This card is an indicator that now is a great time to meet someone, as your confidence will be shining through. Or this card can also be an indicator of a relationship coming up with someone who has a bit of a wild side. This can be exciting as well, but if this person is too wild, you may need to tame them somewhat. And if you want to tame them, do it gently. Don't try to dominate them. And for those who are already in a relationship, this card shows that you are a strong couple, close, united. And if your relationship has gone through a lot of emotional upheavals, then you are starting to get back on top of it, that any problem you faced in the past have actually brought you closer together. For those of you who are concerned with money and career, this strength card is indicating your skills and your potential. As I mentioned earlier, you just need to be brave and believe in yourself, and believing in yourself is the highlight of this reading. It is a good card for leadership also. This card tells you to be polite with your colleagues, subordinates, and especially bosses. Don't let fear of failure or fear of looking foolish hold you back from doing what you want to do. Let's suppose if you want a promotion, go for that. Make yourself known. Be there to help others. Try making yourself available to extra projects, for picking up the extra load, because you can do it all, and that's how you can show your capabilities to the concerning parties for them to consider you as a potential promoted person. Okay, and if you have ever thought to run your own business, again, believe in yourself and make it happen. But financially, avoid any impulsive decision when it comes to spending. It doesn't mean that you should not spend, but make sure any purchase or investment are thought through properly and do not based on an emotional impulse. Okay? Now, as long as your health is concerned, then this card is a good indicator of improving health and feeling fit. And if you were not feeling well lately, you are going to get your strength back to overcome your illness, because your mind and body are coming back into balance. So it's a good time to make positive changes, to make your life healthier. For example, this is the right time to start walk, exercise, taking good healthy diet to strengthen your mind and body altogether, to boost up your immunity, to fight any health issues in case of sickness or illness. But otherwise, it is needed to stay healthy for your present and future also. In a spirituality context, this card indicates your connection with your own higher self, and this connection is giving you more inner strength and balance than you already have. The more energy you put into cultivating this connection, the more harmony you bring to yourself for leading the balance of your mind, body, and soul. And if you have been going through a tough time, then this card is a reminder that you have the strength to endure, to make things get better. In short, this card asks you to listen to your intuition and don't be guided by negative emotions. For some of you, this card advises you to avoid self-doubts, weakness, and self-low esteem. It tells you to stop comparing yourself with others in terms of being harsh with their matter. It's not you. If they handle their things aggressively and things work for them apparently, then it may not benefit them for the long run. You have to strengthen your outer and inner self both with love to feel that real spark of joy, happiness, and fulfillment. Because see, aggression can never bring this inner peace and satisfaction, right? And if you have lack of self-confidence, you'll have to work on your confidence level. If you have been vulnerable for a long time, then this is a time to not be that powerless what you used to be, because your situation is demanding you to come forward and face the situation. And for that, you need to focus on the positivity. Stay away from those people who make you feel inadequate. Spend your time with those people who built you up somehow. If I have to summarize this whole reading, then this strength card represents many qualities other than being strong, because this card tells you to have stamina and patience for any kind of challenges in your relationship, career, or spiritual life. So this card focuses on your courage, influences, persuasion to handle your issues, but the key is compassion, as this line symbolizes raw emotions, which could be wild, related to our consciousness on the spontaneous level. And this woman is a representative of your higher spiritual energy. Therefore, strength card illustrates that the feminine power of gentleness and self-control can control our lower or more violent animal nature with grace and sensitivity, rather than using brutal force. Therefore, this card encourages you to rest for some time, taking care of yourself and regain your energy in terms of mental, physical, or spiritual health. Moreover, this card also advises you to forgive someone who has been violent or aggressive towards you ever. As a result, your way of behavior could make you feel surprisingly more powerful. Because when we forgive someone, we feel so much inner peace, and it's like some burden is suddenly vanished and made ourselves lighter than ever. You must try that for once at least, and I make sure that you love it. So no matter how stressful your situation is, you need to think logically by staying calm and positive. And remember, these situations are to test your patience level and strength, which you already have in yourself. You only need to believe in yourself in capital letters now, and to act maturely to be successful in anything you want to accomplish. For now, strength card is showing your power to shine without dominating others and to express your true gifts and confidence. And with that said, I take your leave. Do tell me in the comment section that how this reading resonates with your situation, and if you like this reading, then please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, enemies, or with anybody you want to. And please subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell on the option all to watch all of my upcoming videos on time. Hope to see you in my next reading. Till then, take care, bye, and Allah Hafiz.